the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, and without him nothing was made that was made.
For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. For God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved.
Hello, welcome to the show. Come on in. It is Monday night on Untethered Live. I'm your host, Jake Johnson, and tonight we are in the great book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 10, verse 11. 10:11. Sorry, I had to low down my bit rate there. I'm getting an error message. You can't take it. It's too much. I need fiber optic. Welcome, everybody. Come on in. April, you get the gold star. She says, hello, Jake. See you. Love you all. And Amanda says, hi, chat. Good to see y'all. Hiya, Jake. How are you tonight, Hart? Well, Hardy, obviously. Good to see you, too. Good to be here. Amanda says, hi, April. Here's your gold star. Rachel Floyd in the house. Hello. Hello. How are you? Good to see you. Rachel says hi. Amanda says hi, Rachel. Bill. Hi, ladies. Jake. Sir. Good to see you. Sherry. I'm just going to call you Sherry because I can't say that word. Hello. Good to see you and welcome back. Peppa Pig in the house. Hey, Peppa. Who's back? Back again. Guess who's back? Back again. Guess who's back? Back again. It's Peppa Pig. Amanda says, hi, Sherry. And welcome back, Peppa. And hi. And Sherry says, hi, Amanda. Y'all, just Sherry is fine. Thank you. I appreciate that because I can't say those words. I have a southern mouth. It's like marbles in my mouth. I just can't talk like that. Don't let that fool you, though. I'm very intelligent. So says my mama. And then mama says it's true, right? How are you guys doing? I'm having a nice hot cup of coffee. Are you having a hot cup of coffee? If you're not, you can get one down below. Have some coffee with Jake. It's lovely. I'm going to get one of those very soon. Your mom is right. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you. She's with the Lord right now. And I imagine they're having some conversations. My mom was my sounding board. She was the one that I would sharpen my teeth on throughout my life. And when she left, I spiraled. And I don't think I've ever course corrected. I'm still, tag, you're it. You're my sounding board now. Much love, Curious Squirrel. Welcome back. How are you? Are you guys excited? I'm excited. I'm excited to get into this book, do some reading, see what we learn, see what we come up with. Aw, says Sherry. It's true. Ain't nothing in the world better than a dude's mama. I promise you that. Your mom is your best friend. Or female, women. I don't know how women get on with their moms, but my mom was my best friend. That's not to say I was a mama's boy. You ask anybody who knows me. My mama didn't tell me what to do or when to go or where to go or how to go or what to do with what I got when I got there. But I trusted her implicitly. She was my best friend. And I miss her dearly. How about you? Do you have a mama? Do you love your mama? Do you get along? You only get one of those. My mom passed when I was 19, says Curious Squirrel. I was oldest of 3 teens, and Dad was not around. I am so sorry to hear that, Curious Squirrel. I know that was tough. I was fortunate enough to have my mom most of my life, and she died in 2015, and I'm pushing 50 now, so I got her for, 45 years. That's pretty good. Amanda says, I miss her too. She was a wonderful, beautiful woman. Thank you. Yes. Yes, she was. And tough as nails. Never apologized for anything. Ever. I admire that woman. Amanda says she taught me a lot. Well, that's what mamas do. They teach. I guess she wasn't just my mama. She was mama. Mamas are special, says Curious Squirrel. Mine was a redhead. She was the Irish and the Native American mix here. And she was as fiery as you could imagine. Like a pistol with a short barrel. For sure, says Rachel. Rachel, you remind me of a redhead. Are you redheaded? By chance? I feel like you're redheaded. In my mind, you have red hair. In my mind. When I fantasize about you. Or something. Anyway, it's going to be a great show tonight. I can feel it in my bones. I can feel it coming on. I can feel it. Energy in the air. Electricity. My mustache is standing on end. Yeehaw. Where's April at? Did you come in and go out? At least you were here. Hit that like button, everybody. It's 10 people in chat. There's only 4 likes. Math don't add up. And also, hit the subscribe button if you hadn't done so already. There's a few of you hadn't subscribed yet, but not many. Most of you are on board. You could also consider joining the channel if you really want to go into the deep, go into the weeds, go down the rabbit hole, as it were, and hit the iceberg at the bottom. Come with me. I'll set you free. Anyway, if you want to show some love, we got a super chat function in the chat box, and also PayPal and CashApp, which you'll get at the end of the show. And we're going to go about 3 more minutes, and then we'll get started. Just make sure everybody has a chance to roll in and get comfortable. I had a lovely day today, very short day. And here we are, still going. Lovely. What's this button do? Oh. Anything happen? I don't know. I pressed a button. Sometimes I get froggy. All right. Y'all didn't come to hear me blathering to a camera, so let's get after it, shall we? If you got your Bibles handy, crack them open to the great book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 10, verse 11. And it reads, surely the serpent will bite without enhancement, and a babbler is no better. Yapper, somebody that runs their mouth for no reason. No better than a snake bite. Why? Because they're both poisonous. Somebody that continuously runs their mouth, that's not a good thing. And I said enhancement. That's enchantment. I can't read. I'm having a stroke. Anyway, the words of a wise man's mouth are gracious, but the lips of a fool will swallow up himself. Yes, there is no bounds of the idiocy of a fool. He'll say things that'll hurt himself. The beginning of the words of his mouth is a foolishness, and the end of his talk is mischievous madness. A fool also is full of words. A man cannot tell what shall be, and what shall be after him. Who can tell him? Nobody, because he's foolish. And if you listen to a fool, you'll have foolish directions, and you won't know what to do or where to go or how to do it. Walter Davis in the house. What's up, Walter? Good to see you, my brother. You never answered my question, Rachel. I want to know. Hey, Walter. How's Linda? Good, I hope. I hope you guys are all right. We're in Ecclesiastes 10:14. A fool also is full of words. A man cannot tell what shall be and what shall be after him. Who can tell him? No one, because the fool is full of words. God's will. What's up, my brother? The labor of the foolish wearieth every one of them, because he knoweth not how to go to the city. What does that mean? That means that he doesn't know how to fix problems. He doesn't know how to go down to Ace Hardware and get the right tool for the right job. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's foolish, and it'll end up costing everybody time and money. That's basically what that means. Woe to thee, O land, where thy king is a child, and thy princes eat in the morning. Blessed art thou, O land, when thy king is the son of nobles, and thy princes eat in due season. They take what they need in due season. They don't take it all first thing in the morning, meaning taxing. This is a metaphor for how government runs, and it's not a good thing. Blessed is the land when your king comes from a line of kings, meaning the kings of Judah. The tribe of Judah is the king line. All kings are supposed to come from that line. All kings pertaining to God anyway. I don't know about heathen lands, but in Israel it's supposed to be that way. And as far as I know, it still is. I don't know. For strength and not for drunkenness, they take the due that they need to increase the wealth of the land, not to get fat and drunk like our government does, taking everything they can get their hands on. They take what they need in taxes or in prosperity or in labor or whatever it is they're requiring of you. They take what they need for the good of the country, not for the good of their wealth. That's a good expression right there. By much slothfulness, the building decayeth. That's right. If you're lazy, your building falls apart. Jake, don't be lazy. And through idleness of the hands, the house droppeth through. Also true. See, it's in the Bible. I should listen. A feast is made for laughter, and wine maketh merry, but money answereth all things. What? Is God saying you should have money? Money answers all things. That's right. I've said it 1,000,000 times. Money cannot buy happiness. But having said that, have you ever seen anybody on a jet ski frowning? I don't think you have. It's impossible to frown on a jet ski. Money can't buy happiness, but it can buy a jet ski, and that's pretty fun. So, money is the answer to things. But the love of money is the root of evil things. You don't want to do that. You don't want to go to the point where your greed overtakes who you are. Curse not the king, no, not in thy thought. Don't even do it in your mind. And curse not the rich in thy bedchamber. For a bird of the air shall carry the voice, and that which hath wings shall tell the matter. What? This is an old expression, because in those days they would send messages by carrier pigeons, so there was a myth around that birds heard everything, and that they would go and spy on you and go tell your enemies. Like the little birdie told me, that expression, this is where it comes from, and it's been around for a long time. But basically what it means is be honest about how you feel about things. Don't curse people in your mind and then act like, you like them to their face. Don't do that. Don't curse the king, because he's the guy running the country. You want him to do good. You want him to prosper, because if he prospers, you prosper, and that's how it works. Unfortunately, we can't always have that, but it's nice to think that we could. Cast thy bread upon the waters, for thou shalt find it after many days. Huh? This is one of those things. You remember me talking about living in a reciprocal universe? If you cast your bread upon the waters, that means diversify. That means spread your wealth around. Invest in different things. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's what it's talking about. And you'll find it again after many days, meaning whatever you put out will come back to you. Give a portion to 7 and also to 8. For thou knowest not what evil shall be upon the earth. Right. Diversify. Don't put everything in one place. Give it a little bits here and there. In other words, support the things you love. Vote with your wallet. If you don't like the movies that are being made, don't go see movies. Don't give money to people that make movies. Don't support things that talk about those movies. If you like Bible, support those who push the Bible in the way that it should be pushed. That's what it means. It means that with everything. You can apply that all the way across the world, but I'm just saying, from my perspective, that's the way I'm taking it. If the clouds be full of rain, they empty themselves upon the earth. And if the tree fall towards the south or towards the north, in the place where the tree falleth, there it shall be. Now, I want you to think about that for a minute. If a tree falls in the woods and there's nobody there to see it, did it really fall? Because wherever it is, there it is. It isn't over there. It's right where it's supposed to be. What does that mean? Well, it's a simplistic way of saying wherever you find yourself, that's where you are. In other words, bloom where you're planted. You have to look into this. You have to read into it a little bit. And basically what it's saying is the world takes care of itself. You don't have to worry about that. The things that happen automatically happen automatically. The things that happen to you happen to you. There's nothing you can do to stop that. Don't focus on that. Focus on what you can control. Push yourself in your direction. Bloom where you're planted. Find a problem and solve it. That's how you get well in the world. He that observeth the wind shall not sow, and he that regardeth the clouds shall not reap. If you observe the wind, if the wind picks up and you say, well, I'm not going to go out and sow my field today because the wind is up. Or if you look at the clouds and say, it looks like it's going to be a rainy day, I'm not going to go out and reap my harvest today. That's not a good thing. You're paying too much attention to things. You do what you can while you can. You don't try to plan ahead of the weather. You can't be afraid of the wind. You have to do what you can do while you can do it. While you're young, while you're energetic, while you have the strength or the money or the time, you do it then. Don't put it off till tomorrow because it needs to be done today. That sort of thing. As thou knowest not what is the way of the Spirit, you have no idea the way of a spirit. You don't know what that means. You don't know where it comes from. You don't know its anatomy. Nor how the bones do grow in the womb of her that is with child. You don't know how that works either. Even though you think you do because we've got modern medicine, we really don't know what causes that to happen or by which mechanism makes that occur. We just know that it does, and then from there, there's a human life. They really don't, nobody can really explain that one. Even so, thou knowest not the works of God who maketh all. You don't know God. Understand that there is one greater than you. Understand that you're not the star of your movie. You're a bit part player. You're in the movie, but it's not your movie. It's God's movie, and you don't know him. You don't know the director. You don't know what powers he has. You don't know what influence he has. You don't know what mechanism he used to create the universe. My Bible is not on screen. I'm sorry. There you go. I jumped the gun. Thank you for telling me. I did not realize that. Well, here we are in chapter 11:4. Chapter 11:5. Yeah. You don't know what God is. You may never know. You might not know when you get there and you're standing before him. You might not ever learn what God is or where he came from or how he came to be. What you do know is the effect of what he has done, because here you are. You do know that, and you can learn a lot about this place. So learn that and live your life in this place the way it was intended for you to live, and make do with what you got. But don't spend too much time thinking about things that you can't control, that you can't grasp, because all it'll do is drive you crazy. Trust me, I know. In the morning sow thy seed, and in the evening withhold not thine hand. Get out there and work. Don't rest In the evening is when it's time to get everything done. For thou knowest not whether shall prosper, either this or that, or whether they both shall be alike. Did I miss something? Nope. In the morning sow thy seed, and in the evening withhold not thy hand, for thou knowest not whether shall prosper. They knoweth not they knoweth not whether shall prosper. I think there's a word missing there. They knoweth not whether shall prosper. Which one of those? Sowing in the morning or working in the evening? I guess that's what it's saying. Either this or that, or whether they both shall be alike good. You don't know if both of those will be prosperous. In other words, I guess what it's saying is if you plant something in the morning, you've got all day to get everything prepared for the evening, but you don't know if that seed's going to take or not. You have to do it right, and you have to hope for the best, and you have to do it at the right time of year. I'm guessing that's what that means. I don't really know. How do you take that? Truly the light is sweet, and a pleasant thing it is for the eyes to behold the sun. Now, those are true words. You ever walk outside and just close your eyes and let the sun beat on your face? It's a beautiful feeling. That's the light of God. But if a man live many years and rejoice in them all, yet let him remember the days of darkness, for they shall be many. All that cometh is vanity. Yeah, even if you get to be a ripe old age, you have to understand that this life is not going to be easy. It's not going to always be bright, sunny, shiny days. There's going to be many days of darkness. There's going to be lots of trials, lots of tribulations, lots of pain, because that's what it means to be alive. And to worry about that is vanity, to remember it, to dwell on it, to ponder on all the bad things. My mama used to say, count your blessings, not your curses. And I never understood that because I'm aware of what's happening to me. I see what's happening. It looks like every time I turn around, I'm getting smacked in the face by something. Not true, though. If you take a moment and count your blessings, really think what's good. I know a lot of bad has happened today, but what good happened today? I spoke to someone I loved. I found $1 on the side of the road. I woke up this morning breathing easy. The sun was shining today. Lots and lots and lots of good things, and they add up. Problem is the brain is geared to remember negativity. That's how it learns, by seeing what doesn't work and fixing it up here. That's how the brain works. Negative reinforcement causes you to remember things. It's so easy to forget the good stuff or to look right over it because it feels good. It doesn't feel like a drain on your life. So it just passes right by. And most of the time, you only see it in hindsight. You don't see it when it's happening. Good things. Take time every day. Don't let a day go by that you don't do this. Take time to count your blessings, whether it's at dinner time when you're saying your prayers, or at bedtime when you're saying your prayers, or if you just, when you first wake up in the morning, first thought on your mind should be, what good is going to come of today? I'm here another day. I've got 24 hours to make something of this. What good is going to come of today? What can I do today to improve either my life or someone else's? Think about that. It's not all about you, by the way. It's about everybody. We're in this together. So think about that. Can you improve someone else's life? Is there something that you have that will make someone else happy? If so, why do you have it? Does it make you happy? And if it doesn't, pass it on. Very simple. Rejoice, O young man, in thy youth, and let thy heart cheer thee in the days of thy youth. Enjoy your youth, because I'm here to tell you it will go away, and it will go away like that, quickly. And then it's just a memory. Enjoy your youth, and walk in the ways of thine heart, and in the sight of thine eyes. But know thou, understand, that for all these things God will bring thee into judgment. Know that. Know it up front. Know it every day of your life, that every decision you make, you will have to answer for it. You are now of the age of accountability, which means you know right from wrong. You know when you do something that's bad, you shouldn't do it, but you do it anyway, that you will be judged for. Ignorance is not a sin. If you don't know better, you're not going to get in trouble for it. But if you do know better, you will be judged on it. So enjoy your youth and do whatever your heart pleases or whatever your eyes see that you want, go get it. But remember, God's watching you. Don't do things you shouldn't do, and you know what those things are. It's written on your heart. I don't even have to tell you. You know right from wrong. Therefore, remove sorrow from thy heart and put away evil from thy flesh, for childhood and youth are vanity. Now that you're grown, now that you have reached the age of accountability and you know better, you know right from wrong, you've thought about it, you understand what's good and what isn't, put it away. Don't dwell on your sadness. Don't dwell on your anxiety. Don't dwell on any evil thing. Put it away. Force yourself to be positive. Write yourself affirmations or notes. Write in your journal. Whatever you got to do to keep your mind focused forward, that's what you do to fix your life. And you can do it. You have the strength. I promise you do. Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while it matters, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw near, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them, in those years. Remember God while it's good. Don't just remember him when things get bad. That's what that means. Everybody has a propensity to call on God when they're in trouble. Well, I understand that. What good is having a God if he won't save you from trouble, if he won't strengthen you and protect you? I understand that sentiment. Don't just call on him when you're in trouble, when you need something. He's not a genie. He's God. He is your Father. Call on him now when things are good, when you're peaceful. Tell him how you feel right now. You don't think he wants to know? You don't think he already knows, but he wants to hear it from you? Build a relationship. Relationships go both ways. You want God to do for you, you got to do for God. A little back scratching here and a little back scratching there, you know. What does God want? He wants your love. He wants your attention. He wants you to pay attention to what he said. He wants you to live like he matters to you. You want him to do for you? You want him to save you when you're in trouble? Do something for him. When's the last time you had a conversation about God to a stranger? When's the last time you got on your hands and knees and thanked him for what you have? Nothing else. No asking for anything. Just thank you, God, for my blessings and my gifts. Thank you for always making sure I have everything I need to survive. I am grateful, period. Have you tried that? When's the last time you reached out to God while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars are not dark, nor the clouds return after the rain? In the day when the keeper of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the window be darkened, those that look through a glass darkly. When's the last time you could see clearly? And the doors shall shut in the streets, when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of a bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Also, when they shall be afraid of that which is high, God Almighty. And fears shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden, and desire shall fail, because man goeth his long home. Where's that? That's when you die. You know, you're going to be dead a whole lot longer than you've ever been alive. You're only alive for this long. But you're dead forever afterwards. That's your long home. This is a temporary little stopover, a little rest stop. and the mourners go about the streets. Or ever the silver cord be loosed. That means when you die. The silver cord is the metaphoric connection between heaven and your consciousness. It's a silver cord to this clay pot. You will hear that referenced a couple of times in the Bible, and it means that you live in a vessel. Your spirit is contained within this clay pot, and eventually this clay pot will break, and that silver cord will be parted, separating you from this clay pot. And then you will be in heaven with the Father. Ever the silver cord be loosed, or the golden bowl be broken, or the pitcher be broken at the fountain, or the wheel broken at the cistern, then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto God who gave it. Let me read that again, because you need to know this. This is biblical. This is fact. This is how it happens. Right now, you're here, you're conscious, you're in this world, you're in this dimension, and then you're dead, and the body goes back to the dust from whence it came, and the spirit instantly goes back to the Father who gave it. Where is your spirit when you die? Not here. It's there. There are no such thing as ghosts. There are no such thing as ghouls and goblins. There are such thing as familiar spirits or fallen ones, and they're not around every corner or behind every bush, but they are out there, and they are rulers over the principalities of air and land and sea, and they cause calamity and mayhem. That's why the world is in the shape that it's in, because those spirits are in a place they don't belong. It started at Mount Hermon back in the beginning of the Bible, and it goes all the way through the Bible. Vanity of vanities, saith the preacher. All is vanity. Everything, every last thing on planet Earth is vanity. None of it makes any sense. All of it is bad. You cannot walk through life without screwing it up. You just can't. That's why God gave you forgiveness. That's why his son had to die to cover your sin, because you can't not sin. You are fallen. Once you understand that, it's easy. Forgive, live, and let live. That's it. That's how you do it. Don't hold grudges. Don't get revenge. Vengeance is mine, saith God Almighty. Just live. And moreover, because the preacher was wise. This preacher's a little wise, very little. He still taught the people knowledge. Yea, he gave good heed and sought out and set in order many proverbs, as he would do. That's what preachers are supposed to do. The preacher sought to find out acceptable words, and that which was written was upright, even words of truth. What are we reading? That which is upright, the words of truth. That's what this book is. The words of the wise are as goads and as nails fastened by the masters of assemblies, which are given from one shepherd. That would be me. I'm the shepherd in this instance. And when I give you wisdom, when I tell you things that you may or may not already know, and I'm not suggesting you don't know, but I have to talk like you don't know because it's for everybody, whether you do or not. It's like little nails going out all over the place, like nailing up little things by master workers, not things that I wrote, things that God wrote. I'm just delivering the message. But that's the job of a shepherd, is to deliver the sheep to the food and out to the field, and then keep them safe and watch over them while they graze and explore and figure out what they're supposed to be sheep about. That's the shepherd's job. That's the preacher's job. And I take it very seriously, and I hope you see that. The words of the wise are like goads. Well, what's a goad? Well, it could be many things, but in this case, it's talking about like nailing little things up on the wall that you hang things on, I think. Nails fastened by the master of assemblies. That's God, not me. Which are given from one shepherd. One shepherd. Not the shepherd, not a shepherd, just one of the many shepherds. And further, by these, my son, be admonished. Take this as a lesson, straps on the back. Let it hit hard in your heart. Let it sink in. Be admonished of making many books. There is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh. Yes, you will never learn everything. You will never be able to contain all knowledge. The best you could ever hope for is to get kind of good at one thing. Maybe a couple of things a little good. But the more things you do, the less good you can be at any of them. You will literally wear yourself out trying to understand the world. You can't do it. But you must understand the basics. And that's all we're here for right now. The basics. Just the understanding of why you're here and what's expected of you and who's doing the expecting and who is the created. That's you. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments. Okay, that's it. I thought it would be more complicated, didn't you? This is a very long book we've read over the past 3 or 4 weeks, or however long it was. And the whole culmination, the moral of the story, everything that was said before, all of it. 2 sentences. Fear God, keep his commandments. For this is the whole duty of man. You want to know why you're here? You want to know what love is? You want to know what life is? You want to know what the meaning of this universe is? Fear God and keep his commandments. This is the whole duty of man. There is nothing else. There's no other reason for your existence. Fear God, keep his commandments. If you do that, you are set for eternity. I give you my word on it. And the better you do at it, the better your eternity will be. Because you get rewards for doing God's work, believe it or not. Oh, we got a $9.99 super chat from April Rain with a big kitty cat with a heart. Thank you very much. I appreciate that $9.99. Thank you. For God shall bring every work into judgment, with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. Period. End of story. What are we saying? From the time you're born, you have a grace period. Oh, Kevin Cox hit me with a $49.99 super chat and says, you're amazing with a, is that a, I can't tell if that's a Egyptian kitty cat or a samurai kitty cat. Kind of looks like both. Might be a kitty cat and drag. Either way, I love it. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for the $49.99 super chat and the $9.99 super chat. God loves you, and so do I. So, everything you do, once you reach the age of accountability. Now, this is important because a lot of people don't teach you this. Hear me. You have a grace period. Ignorance is not a sin. It's nowhere in the Bible. If you don't know better, you're not going to be punished for that which you've done as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. I thought like a man. I spoke like a man. I stood like a man. No more childish things. Because when I became a man, I reached the age of accountability. For me, it was about 30 when my brain kicked on and I started actually noticing things. I've met 3-year-olds that have already reached the age of accountability. They already knew better. I've met 60-year-olds that have not yet got there, that don't know any better. It just depends on you. And God knows who you are. From before the foundations of the earth, he knows you personally, you. So it doesn't matter when you reach the age of accountability. The goal is to reach the age of accountability. And once you have done so, now you are held accountable for the things that you do, the decisions you make, and everything, whether it be secret or public, every work will be brought before God into judgment. You will stand before the holy throne and the council, and you will answer. I don't know how long that takes. I don't know if it happens in a flash. I don't know if everything is understood without a word, or you have to label everything you've ever done, but you will be held accountable for it all up to the age of accountability. Before that, you're a child, And you'd be better off to tie a millstone around your neck and cast yourself into the ocean than to hurt one of my little children, says Christ. Because they're innocent. They don't know any better. And that is you. And I hope you understand that. Oh, we start a brand new book, The Song of Solomon. Beautiful book. Take a moment. The Song of Songs, which is Solomon's. Who wrote the songs? Solomon wrote the songs. All of this in this book are songs. Just like the book of Psalms are songs. They're meant to be sung. So is the book of Solomon. And this book gets a little racy. I want you to be prepared for that. It's going to happen. But understand that love is the main theme of this book. Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, for thy love is better than wine. Because of the savor of thy good ointments, thy name is as an ointment poured forth. Therefore do the virgins love thee. Apparently, Solomon was quite the looker and had riz all over the place, like the young people like to say. Women loved Solomon. Men loved Solomon because he was wise, too. And this, I don't know whose perspective this is from. It could be him. It could be the Sheba, the queen of Ethiopia. That's who he's talking about. I don't know if he's talking from her perspective or for his, but just take the story in and understand that this is a love story between two rulers. A beautiful woman from Ethiopia and a beautiful man from Israel who met together, who heard of each other, who thought there's no way this person exists. So they traveled to meet one another. And there was a child from this union. This is not biblical. This is historical. You can look it up in history and find it, Ethiopian history to be specific. And there was a child from Sheba and Solomon. And that child became the king of Ethiopia after Sheba's death. Interesting. That's why those churches are there in Ethiopia. Those ones that are sunk down into the mountain, you know, all carved out of one piece of stone. There's like 4 of them. That's why they're there. That's also why some people claim that the Ark of the Covenant is in Ethiopia, because of the legend of Solomon's son who went back to Egypt, went back to Solomon and supposedly took the Ark of the Covenant back to Ethiopia. This is not true. But that is the legend that is going on in that part of the world. And they think they have it. I think they got a piece of radioactive material, but they think they have the Ark of the Covenant. Draw me. We will run after thee. The king hath brought me into his chambers. We will be glad and rejoice in thee. We will remember thy love more than wine. The upright love thee. I am black, but comely. Yes, this is the queen of Ethiopia talking. She was a black woman, but she was pretty, apparently. That's what comely means. O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon. Look not upon me because I am black, because the sun hath looked upon me. My mother's children were angry with me. They made me the keeper of the vineyards, but mine own vineyard have I not kept. This is metaphor, meaning she's a virgin. Or they're virgins, she's not. Basically what this is saying is, don't be mad at me because I've gotten around before. But this new thing that I'm doing with Solomon, this is completely different than those. I swear those guys meant nothing to me. Nothing, honey. That's what she's saying. I'll read it again so you understand this is true. My mother's children were angry with me. Her mother's children are her sisters, so that you understand. They made me the keeper of the vineyards. You remember in college when you had an RA that lived on your floor in your dormitory, where that was like the hall monitor? She wrote people up and kept everybody in line. This is her for the harem of daughters that were the mother's children. She was in charge of them, is what that means. They made me keeper of the vineyards, but mine own vineyard I did not keep. So I was in charge of making sure they stayed virgins, but I went out and had a little fun. That's what she's saying. Tell me, O thou whom my soul loveth, where thou feedest, where thou makest thy flock to rest at noon. For why should I be as one that turneth aside by the flocks of thy companions? Why should I be flocked in with everybody else? I'm special and you know it. Look at me. Tell me where you're going to be at, and I'll go there. That's what she's saying. If thou know not, O thou fairest among women, go thy way forth by the footsteps of the flock, and feed thy kids beside the shepherds, and feed thy kids beside the shepherd's tent. I have compared thee, O my love, to a company of horses in Pharaoh's chariots. If you know anything about Pharaoh, he had a stable of horses, which were the finest horses in the land. He wouldn't be seen with anything less. We're talking probably Clydesdales or something, just really fine, probably Arabian horses, or I don't know if Egypt has horses, but I know Arabia does. And these were like the finest of horses. I don't know anything about horses, but you get the idea. Feed your children. And he says, I've compared you, my love, to these fine, fine animals here, which is like the best, the highest priced animals in the land. In other words, he's saying, look at that thing. Anyway, thy cheeks, these ones, are comely with the rows of jewels. Those are her teeth. Thy neck with chains of gold. We will make thee borders of gold with studs of silver, while the king sitteth at his table. My spikenard sendeth forth the smell thereof. I don't know what a spikenard is, but it's getting dirty in here. A bundle of myrrh, that's scented spice, myrrh. A bundle of myrrh is my well-beloved unto me. She smells good to me, is what he's saying. He shall lie all night betwixt my breasts. That's a lovely place to be. If you've never been there, I strongly suggest you give it a shot. It's very nice and comfortable. My beloved is unto me as a cluster of camphor in the vineyards of Engedi, or Engedi, wherever that is. That's next door to the Serengeti. I don't know. I'm just making words up. Behold, thou art fair, my love. Behold, thou art fair. Thou hast dove's eyes. Behold, thou art fair, my beloved, yea, pleasant. Also, our bed is green, huh? That's kind of weird. I think what he's saying is it hasn't been used yet. Yeah. We got a green bed over here. Let's break it in. I think that's what he's saying. The beams of our house are cedar, and our rafters of fir. I am the rose of Sharon, and the lily of the valleys. As the lily among thorns, so is my love among the daughters. As the apple tree among the trees of wood, so is my beloved among sons. I sat down under his shadow with great delight, and his fruit was sweet to my taste. Goodness. He brought me to the banqueting house, and his banner over me was love. Stay me with flagons. In other words, get me drunk. Comfort me with apples, for I am sick of love. His left hand is under my head, and his right hand doth embrace me. I charge you, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, by the roes, and by the hinds of the field, or the deer of the field. A roe is a deer, and a hind is a deer. One of those is cattle-like, and the other one is sheep-like. I don't know what they are. They're deer. I charge you by the deer of the field, that ye stir up, nor awake my love, till he please. In other words, let him sleep in. I gave him a rough night. Let him rest. Spikenard is perfume. Thank you, Amanda. I thought it was much dirtier than that, so I appreciate it. The voice of my beloved, behold, he cometh leaping upon the mountains, her breasts, skipping upon the hills, her breasts. My beloved is like a roe or a young hart or a rabbit. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Behold, he standeth behind our wall. Hey now. Easy, lady. He looketh forth at the windows, showing himself through the lattice. My beloved spake and said unto me, rise up, my love, my fair one, and come away. Come with me. Come away with me. Come away with me in the night. Come away. For lo, the winter is past, and the rain is over and gone. The flowers appear on the earth. The time of the singing of birds is come. It's morning time. And the voice of the turtle is heard in our land. Really? Were they teenage? Were they mutant? The fig tree putteth forth her green figs, and the vines with her tender grapes give a good smell. Arise, my love, my fair one, and come away. Come away with me in the night. O my dove, that art in the clefts of my rock, in the secret places of the stairs. Let me see thy countenance. Let me hear thy voice, for sweet is thy voice, and thy countenance is comely. Take us the foxes, the little foxes that spoil the vines, for our vines have tender grapes. Easy, boy. Jesus Christ. Put the brakes on. You just met her. My beloved is mine, and I am his. He feedeth among the lilies. Okay, so I see what's happening here. This is switching tense. It's going between his perspective and her perspective, his perspective and her perspective. So it's like two people talking to each other. So try to get that into your mind. Until the daybreak and the shadows flee away, turn, my beloved, and be thou like a deer or a roe or a young hart upon the mountains of Bether. A hart is like a goat kind of thingy. By night on my bed I sought him whom my soul loveth. I sought him, but I found him not. I will arise now and go about the city and the streets, and in the broad ways I will seek him whom my soul loveth. And I sought him, but I found him not. The watchmen that go about the city found me, to whom I said, saw ye him whom my soul loveth? It was but a little that I passed from them, but I found him whom my soul loveth. I held him, and I would not let him go until I had brought him into my mother's house and into the chamber of her that conceived me. You did it on your mama's bed? Jesus. These people are randy. I charge you, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, by the roes and by the hinds of the field, that ye stir not up, nor awake my love, till he please. Who is this that cometh out of the wilderness like pillars of smoke, perfumed with myrrh and frankincense, which is also another smelly thing, with all powders of the merchant, salt, pepper, spice, other things? Behold his bed, which is Solomon's. 80 valiant men are about it, of the valiant of Israel. Imagine having sex with your loved one, and there are 60 people standing around the bed, guarding you. I hope their backs are turned at least. They all hold swords, being expert in war. Every man hath his sword upon his thigh, because of fear in the night. This king is well protected. And by proxy, so too is his mistress. King Solomon made himself a chariot of the wood of Lebanon. He made the pillars thereof of silver, and the bottom thereof of gold, the covering of it of purple, in the midst thereof being paved with love for the daughters of Jerusalem. Go forth, all ye daughters of Zion, and behold King Solomon with the crown wherewith his mother crowned him in the day of his espousals. and in the day of the gladness of his heart. Behold, thou art fair, my love. Behold, thou art fair. Thou hast dove's eyes within thy locks. Thy hair is as the flock of goats that appear from Mount Gilead. Thy teeth are like a flock of sheep that are even shorn smooth. Did you brush your teeth? All right. Which came up from the washing. You're clean, baby. Whereof every one bear twins, and none is barren among them. These are some fertile goats, and he's telling her, we finna get it on like Donkey Kong. That's what he's saying. I'm telling you. Thy lips are like a thread of scarlet, and thy speech is comely. Thy temples are like a piece of pomegranate within thy locks. Thy neck is like the tower of David, builded for an armory, whereon there hang 1,000 bucklers and all the shields of mighty men. Thy two breasts are like two young roes that are twins, bouncing all over the place, man, which feed among the lilies. Dude, you're not supposed to say that part out loud. You're blowing it. Until the daybreak and the shadows flee away, I will get me to the mountains of myrrh and to the hill of frankincense. Remember where we put that frankincense and myrrh a minute ago? Until daylight, he said. Until dawn, baby. I'm going to rock those mountains, frankincense and myrrh. That's what he said. I'm not making it up. Thou art all fair, my love. There is no spot in thee. You are perfect, without blemish. That this was a very attractive woman. At least it was to Solomon. Come with me from Lebanon, my spouse. With me from Lebanon. Look from the top of Amana. I almost said Amanda. Very close. From the top of Shinir and Hermon. Hermon is a bad place. From the lion's den, from the mountains of the leopards. Thou hast ravished my heart, my sister, my spouse. Thou hast ravished my heart with one of thine eyes, with one chain of thy neck. How fair is thy love, my sister, my spouse. This word sister is not incest. He's talking about spiritually sister, like Christians say brother to other men. That's what he means. It's not the other way. Don't get weird. How much better is thy love than wine, and the smell of thine ointments than all spices. Thy lips, O my spouse, drop as the honeycomb. Honey and milk are under thy tongue, and the smell of thy garments is like the smell of Lebanon. And the garden enclosed is my sister, my spouse, a spring shut and a fountain sealed. Dude, Solomon was a panty sniffer. Sounds like a good time, you're right. Thy plants are an orchard of pomegranates with pleasant fruits, camphor with spikenard and saffron, calamus and cinnamon. I told you, cinnamon was in there. With all trees of frankincense, myrrh, and aloes. With all chief spices, a fountain of gardens, a well of living waters, and streams from Lebanon. You get the point? He's not talking about her garden out back. He's talking about her garden down below. You know what I'm saying? And she is moist. That's what he's saying. I ain't making it up. Read it for yourself. These guys were magnetically attracted to one another. This is like the best possible scenario for two young people in love. They are taken with each other completely. They are mad. They can't think about anything but each other. They are gonna have babies. You know what I'm saying? Awake, O north wind, and come, thou south. Blow upon my garden. Dude. That the spices thereof may flow out. Let my beloved come into his garden. Oh, I'm coming into your garden, baby. And eat his pleasant fruits. I am come into my garden, my sister, my spouse. I have gathered my myrrh with my spice. I have eaten my honeycomb with my honey. I have drunk my wine with my milk. Eat, O friends, drink ye, drink abundantly, O beloved. I sleep, but my heart waketh. It is the voice of my beloved that knocketh, saying, Open to me, my sister, my love, my dove, my undefiled. For my head is filled with dew, and my locks with the drops of the night. I have put off my coat. How shall I put it back on, is what she said. I'm naked. How can I get dressed again? I'm enjoying myself too much. I have washed my feet. How shall I defile them? My beloved put in his hand by the hole of the door, and my bowels were moved from him. That means something way sexier than it sounded like it meant. That they're not getting freaky. Understand that that's the way they spoke in those days. There's no coffee table involved. That is not what it sounds like. I rose up to open to my beloved. I lifted my hips to open unto him. And my hands dropped with myrrh, and my fingers with sweet-smelling myrrh upon the handles of the lock. I opened to my beloved, but my beloved hath withdrawn himself and was gone. For my soul failed when he spake. I sought him, but I could not find him. I called him, but he gave me no answer. The watchmen that went out about the city found me. They smote me. They wounded me. The keepers of the walls took away my veil from me. This is like a nightmare scenario. I charge you, O daughters of Jerusalem, if you find my beloved, that ye tell him that I am sick of love. I'm torn. I'm broken. I'm malfunctioning here. What is thy beloved more than another beloved? How thou fairest among women, O thou fairest among women. What is thy beloved more than another beloved, that thou dost so charge us? My beloved is white and ruddy, the chiefest among 10,000. First of all, white and ruddy is not a Weird Al Yankovic song. What it means is he is red-headed. Ruddy means to show blood in the face or to blush. And pale skin is white. So he is a redhead, Solomon. And he is the chiefest of 10,000, means he's really tall. How tall? I don't know, but I'm guessing he's a 10, you know what I'm saying? His head is as the most fine gold. His locks are bushy and black as a raven. So he's redheaded, but he does not have red beard. He has a black beard, but red hair. Interesting. His eyes are as the eyes of doves by the rivers of water, washed with milk and fitly set. His cheeks are as the bed of spices, as sweet flowers, his lips like lilies dropping sweet-smelling myrrh. His hands are as gold rings set with the beryl. Beryl is a stone like onyx, something like that. His belly is as bright ivory overlaid with sapphires. His legs are pillars of marble set upon sockets of fine gold. His countenance is as Lebanon, excellent as the cedars, meaning he's really tall. His mouth is most sweet. Yea, he is altogether lovely. This is my beloved, and this is my friend, O daughters of Jerusalem. Whither is thy beloved gone? O thou fairest among women, whither is thy beloved turned aside, that we may seek him with thee? Where is the king? She's talking now to a bunch of maidens and describing her beloved, and everyone knows who she's talking about. I can't imagine that a lot of men fit that description. My beloved is gone down into his garden to the beds of spices, to feed in the gardens and to gather lilies. I am my beloved's, and my beloved is mine. He feedeth among the lilies. Thou art beautiful, O my love, as Tirzah, comely as Jerusalem, terrible as an army with banners. Turn away thine eyes from me, for they have overcome me. Thy hair is as a flock of goats that appear from Gilead. Thy teeth are as a flock of sheep which go up from the washing thereof. Every one beareth twins, and there is not one barren among them. You're not missing any teeth, is what she's saying. They're all there. They all look perfect. As a piece of a pomegranate, they are thy temples within thy locks. In other words, his locks curl down around his temples. There are 80 queens and 80 concubines and virgins without number. So he gets around. My dove, my undefiled, is but one. Out of all the women, I've got lots of queens and I've got lots of women, lots of prostitutes, and I got lots of virgins. But she is the only one of her kind. She is a unicorn. She's the one. There is no other in my eyes. That's what he's saying. My dove, my undefiled, is but one. She is the only one of her mother. She is the choice one of her that bare her. The daughters saw her and blessed her, yea, the queens and the concubines, and they praised her. She's their competition, and they're praising her. That means she is really something special. Fit like a fiddle is what I'm saying. Who is she that looketh forth as the morning, fair as the moon, clear as the sun, and terrible as an army with banners? I went down into the gardens of nuts to see the fruits of the valley, and to see whether the vine flourished and the pomegranate budded. You know what he's talking about? I know what he's talking about. Or ever I was aware, my soul made like the chariots of Amminadab. Return, return, O Shulamite, return, return, that we may look upon thee. What will ye say in the Shulamite? What will you see in the Shulamite? I can read. As it were the company of 2 armies. How beautiful are thy feet with shoes, O prince's daughter. The joints of thy thighs are like jewels, the work of the hands of a cunning workman. A masterful God put this thing together before me. It's a work of art. Thy navel is like a round goblet which wanteth not liquor. Thy belly is like a heap of wheat set about with lilies. Thy 2 breasts are like 2 young roes that are twins, bouncing all over the place. Yeah, baby. Thy neck is as the tower of ivory. Thine eyes like fish pools in Heshbon, by the gate of Bethrabim. Thy nose is as the tower of Lebanon, which looketh towards Damascus. Thine head upon thee is like Carmel, the city, not the candy. Meaning chief of positions, Carmel, the city. And the hair of thine head like purple. The king is held in the galleries. How fair and how pleasant art thou, O love, for delights. This is thy stature. This thy stature is like to a palm tree, thy breasts to clusters of grapes. This is about the 5th time he's talked about her breasts, by the way, so I'm just letting you know what's really happening here. Jake is out of control. It's getting hot in here. I said, I will go up to the palm tree. I will take hold of the boughs thereof. Now also thy breasts shall be as clusters of the vine, and the smell of thy nose like apples, and the roof of thy mouth like the best wine from my beloved, that goeth down sweetly, causing the lips of those that are asleep to speak. I am my beloved's, and his desire is towards me. Come, my beloved, let us go forth into the field. Let us lodge in the villages. Let us get up early to the vineyards. Let us see if the vine flourish, whether the tender grape appear and the pomegranates bud forth. There will I give thee my loves. The mandrakes give a smell, and at our gates are all manner of pleasant fruits, new and old, which I have laid up for thee, O my beloved. Oh, that thou wert as my brother, that sucked the breasts of my mother. When I should find thee without, I would kiss thee, yea, I should not be despised. I would lead thee and bring thee into my mother's house. Who would instruct me? I would cause thee to drink of spiced wine, of the juice of my pomegranate. His left hand should be under my head, and his right hand should embrace me. I charge you, O daughters of Jerusalem, that ye stir not up nor awake my love until he please. Who is this that cometh up from the wilderness, leaning upon her beloved? I raised thee up under the apple tree. There thy mother brought thee forth. There she brought thee forth that bare thee. Set me as a seal upon thine heart, as a seal upon thine arm. For love is strong as death, jealousy is cruel as the grave. Coals thereof are coals of fire, which hath a most vehement flame. Many waters cannot quench love, neither can the floods drown it. If a man would give all the substance of his house for love, it would utterly be contemned. We have a little sister, and she hath no breasts. To each his own, I'm just telling you. What shall we do for our sister in the day where she shall be spoken for? If she be a wall, we will build upon her a palace of silver. And if she be a door, we will enclose her with boards of cedar. I am a wall, and my breasts like towers. Then I was in his eyes as one that found favor. Solomon had a vineyard in Baal-Hamon. He let out the vineyard unto keepers. In other words, he rented it out. Every one for the fruit thereof was to bring 1,000 pieces of silver. My vineyard, which is mine, is before me. Thou, O Solomon, must have 1,000, and those that keep the fruit thereof 200. His kingdom is bigger than her kingdom. That's what she say. Thou that dwellest in the gardens, the companions hearken unto thy voice. Cause me to hear it. Make haste, my beloved, and be thou like to the roe or to a young hart upon the mountains of spices. Be quick. And that is the end of the book of Psalms, Solomon's songs. And we shall end here tonight because the book of the prophet of Isaiah is very important. We want to get started brand new on Isaiah. So we'll begin that next week. Man, what an intensely powerful read that was tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it touched your heart. I hope it left you feeling steamy and moist and a little bit randy. Because that's what love is between two people that love each other. That is the beautiful connection between two partners who can make life, who can bring forth union that makes the world go round. That's the icing on top of the cake. That's the blessing of God that he gives you. Yes, sex is about procreation, but it's also about enjoying the fruit of your labor. It's also about connection. It's also about desire. That's the blessing that goes with the creation of life. Keep that in your mind. And while you ponder that, won't you do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and press the bell icon so you get notifications of when I'm going to be online and when my new videos drop. Smash that like button. It's free. It's right in front of you. It's effortless, and it really does help the channel with the algorithms. Helps us get recommended to other people. Won't you do that, please? Share this video with people you love. Here's an idea. Share it with somebody you don't love. Bring them into our family. Make them part of the fold. Be part of their solutions, not part of their problems. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you're thinking about. Question me, curse me, bless me, challenge me, confront me, conform with me, drink my Kool-Aid, make your own Kool-Aid as long as you're thinking critical. That's what I want. Critical thought coming from that brain of yours. And hey, if you love the Word of God and you can see the value in what I'm trying to build here and you'd like to help out in some kind of way, you can show some love by hitting that super chat function in the chat box. But if you feel led to send tithes, offerings, or love offerings to this humble ministry, you can do so by going to paypal.me/jakejohnsonband. Or if you're a Cash App user, you can go to $jakejohnsonband. Every little bit helps. It's a win-win. It's a blessing to me. But it's a blessing to you too, because we do live in a reciprocal universe. I prove it every single time I read. If you knock, the door will be opened unto you. If you ask, you will be answered. And if you give, you will receive. That is the reciprocal nature of the world in which God created for us to live in. And it is wonderful. Now, I will do everything in my power to answer all of your questions and comments and read the chat as I always do right now. What do you think? How do you feel? Do you feel enlightened? Do you feel numb? Do you feel a little engorged? Let me know what's on your mind. Hot cup of coffee. I like it. We'll start with Walter Davis. Walter Davis says, good evening, all. Hey, Walter, what's going on, my brother? Good to see you. Amanda says, your Bible's not showing. Well, I fixed it. There it is. Hey, Walter, says Amanda. God's will says, I'm here. Sorry for being late. You weren't late. God's will? We all came early to confuse you. Walter says, hey, Jake, Squirrel, Rachel, Amanda, Sherry, Bill, and everybody I didn't mention. Amanda says, hi, God's will. Amanda says, it's all good. God's will, you're here now. That's right. And Walter Davis says, Linda is sleeping. I got home tonight and she's snoring. Well, you let her sleep. She probably deserves it. But tell her we said hello and we miss her. She needs to come back. Walter says, hi, God's will. April says, hey, everybody, I'm here. April's in the house. Walter says, hi, April. April says, sorry, we are leaving the office. It was a busy day, and God answered my prayers, and I need something. God answered my prayers, and need I something. Well, I'm glad God answered your prayers. He answers mine all the time. Welcome to the club. Share the love. Amanda says, that's good, April. And April says, Walter, Amanda, Rachel, Squirrel, good to see you. Hope everyone is well. And Bill. Don't forget Bill. April says, hi, Bill. See, good to see you. Amen, Jake. And April says, Amanda, thanks. You're the sweetest. Oh. Curious Squirrel says, hi, April Rain. And Amanda says, April, if you ever need someone to talk to or just vent, call me, girl. See, friendships abound everywhere in this chat. It's lovely. April says, oh, Walter, tell her we all said love and hugs, Linda. April says, oh, thanks so much. And Amanda says, you're welcome, hon. Jake, your Bible is not on screen. Second time. I fixed it. Thank you. I needed that. I didn't know. And you also, sister, says April. Boogie. God's will says basic pattern recognition. That's right. That's what we were talking about, and I can't remember what it was, but you were right. That was a good point. Amanda says, amen, and that's right, says April, amen. Amanda says, give and take relationship. Yes, you give and you take. You are given to and you give back. That's how God's relationships work. April says, beautiful. Yes, amen. And Amanda says, hit that like button, please. Walter says, I tail-ended a guy in traffic a couple of weeks ago, After the police left, we started talking because of the cross and the Bible on my dashboard. He is also a Christian, and we made a new friend. Well, I hope you didn't damage your vehicle there, Walter, and I hope you're not hurt. There's Linda Davis. She says, good evening, everyone. Hey, Linda, how are you? Did you finally get a good nap? I hope you're doing well. We missed you around here. Amanda says, awesome, Walter. Yeah, I hope you didn't hurt your car. That sucks. Amanda says, hi, Linda. April Rain says, yes. April says, hey, Linda, glad to see you here. Hearts and roses and smiley faces with something. April says, yes. That's right. Woohoo, Jake, preach it. Thank you, ma'am. I'll try. April says, Walter, that is a blessing. Yes, it is a blessing. Kevin Cox says, hey, Jake. Hey, Kev, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Amanda says, hi, Kevin. April hits me with a $9.99 super chat with a cute little heart and a kitty cat. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Walter says, hi, Kevin. April says, woohoo, thanks, April. April says, hi again, my love, Kevin. And then Kevin hits me with $49.99 super chat with an Arabian, Japanese, Egyptian kitty cat with sparklers. Lovely. Thank you. This is your 10th super chat on a live stream. I appreciate you. April says, you're welcome. Woohoo, Kevin. Thank you, says Amanda. April says, Kevin, you should send that Cash App. He won't get all of it right. He won't get all if that's right, Jake. Well, I'll get it on the 21st. I won't get it tonight. That's for sure. I could use a little in my Cash App, but that's up to you. And April says, you can send it wherever you want. Mwah. Or whatever MKCH means. I thought it was a mwah at first. April says, love it. Dennis Bigfoot says, hey, Jake, what's up, Dennis? Good to see you. Hadn't seen you in a while. Pull up a chair. Amanda says, hi, Dennis. April says, hey, Dennis, good to see you. How have you been? Hearts and smiley faces and prayers. April says, I'm still here, just getting things in the car. Dennis says, Jake, who says there's only one ark? God. God said that. Dennis says, hey, Amanda, and hey, April. April says, that's a guy's line, LOL. Yes, it's switching back and forth. I didn't realize that at first, but it is. It's her perspective, then his perspective, so it's like they're singing to each other. They really should label that so it's not confusing. Linda Davis says, nursing a migraine, but Walter woke me up and told me Jake was on. I thought it was morning, and he was waking me up to say goodbye, LOL. Well, I'm sorry you got a headache, honey. I hope you feel better. We'll say a prayer for you, and Amanda knows what you're going through. She has a type of medication called, well, what is it, Emgality? Is that what it's called? You should look into that. It seems to help her get through the migraines. You can ask her. She'll tell you. Amanda says, oh, Linda, migraines suck. Feel better soon. Walter says, Pharaoh had Arabians, great horses. I figured they were probably Arabian. I didn't know if Egypt had horses, but I know Arabia does. And if I were the Pharaoh, that's the big horses I'd want. So, and Spike Nerd is perfume. And Amanda says, a peeping Tom? Shaking my head. He wasn't peeping. He was poking. For sure. April says, sure. It wasn't grapes, oranges, apples, melons. LOL, Jake, sorry. No, it was. Most definitely. Hers. Now you read, there ain't no other way to read that book. They were making it. They were getting it. And loving every minute of it. April says, Nora Jones, come away with me in the night. It's a good song. Good song. April says, love this. Laughing my tail off and hearts and smiley faces. And Amanda says, a biblical love story. Yes. Did you know that was there? I bet you didn't. Kevin Cox says, 12 watching, but only 9 like buttons. Hit that like button, everybody, and be happy. That's right. Please hit the like button. We need all the likes we can get. April says, that's right. And Kevin Cox says, hey, Amanda, Bigfoot, Walter, Mania, and all others. Mania? Who's Mania? Did I miss one? Amanda. Nope. I don't know what you're saying there. Walter Mania? Walter Mania. Da-da-da-da. April says, well, sorry, was this all in one day? I don't know. I think they probably spent about 3 weeks together, as best as I can guess. I don't really know. The way it worked was Sheba had heard about Solomon, and she didn't believe what everybody was saying because Solomon was very well appreciated by the rest of the world, and she heard about him. And they were telling her all kinds of things about his wisdom and his wealth and his power and how everybody just did whatever he said. And she was like, I got to see this with my own eyes. So she left Ethiopia and came to Jerusalem to meet Solomon and held court with him. And he, of course, greeted her with all the pomp and ceremony of a king. I mean, he had the whole 9 yards. He had the animals and like that scene in the movie Aladdin, like that. Just wow. He wowed her. And she was impressed. And they spent time together. And they fell in love. And they made it a few times, I would imagine. So I'm guessing she probably spent 3 weeks to a month with him. And then she eventually went back to Ethiopia, pregnant. So that's historical. That's not biblical. They don't talk about having a child in the Bible, but according to history, they did, and he became king after her. So there's that. Anyway, I don't know if they ever went back and saw each other again. I don't know if they got married while they were together and then just went their separate ways because they're both rulers of a land. It's not very clear beyond that, but they most definitely had some time together. That's both biblical and historical. You can find that information in different places. I hope that helps. Amanda says, LOL, April. April says, there you go. They were busy, says Amanda. Oh, yeah. April says, yes. Amanda says, sounds like a good time. Yeah. Don't you wish that you could find somebody to feel that way about? Because that is the picture of love and romance. There is nothing better than to look at somebody that way and to feel that lost and that connected to someone. And it's just, there's nothing better. Reading that book should rekindle love all over the place because that's how you felt when you first got together. Or you should have felt that way. And if you didn't, something ain't right. Whoa, says Amanda. By the way, if you guys hadn't visited the new Facebook page, the link is in the chat. Go by and check it out. And let us know you were there. Get to know everybody. April says, as Ricky Nelson sings, welcome to the garden party music. They were having a party, and that party was in her garden. You can believe that. Kevin Cox says, the Bible is a little like a penthouse forum. I'm just saying, at least when interpreted by jakejohnsonband. Well, yeah, maybe so, but I'm interpreting it correctly, I promise. I may have indulged a little artistically, but I assure you that's what they're talking about. I promise. If you don't believe me, go back and read it a few times. Go read the notes on it from the different people who have interpreted it from or translated it and written books about these things. Go read the footnotes in your companion Bible. Trust me, that's what they're doing. A little bit like a penthouse forum. Amanda says, geez, Kevin. Kevin says, hey, Amanda, Jake is out of control. Amanda says, no, he's right on, and I love it. Thank you. Kevin says, I like breast talk, even during Bible study. So did Solomon. Apparently, he mentioned it like 5 times. Apparently, she had a knockout set of knockers, if you know what I mean. But her sister had none, unfortunately. Amanda says, now who's out of control, Kevin? LOL. Woohoo, great read. Great story. Great love story. Thank you, Amanda. It was. It's a fantastic. It's probably one of the best love stories ever written. And it was a real story, so that makes it great. Wow, a whole new world. It's a whole new life. Or something. April says, wondering, ... Was there really magic carpet rides? No. That's an Arabian myth. And April says, absolutely 100% have. Really? I mean, there is a magic carpet ride if you ride in the carpet, but not in the way you think. I did find someone, says Amanda, and then got him back too. Well, better hang on to that feller because they don't come around but once in a lifetime. And if you felt that way about that guy, you would be an idiot to waste that opportunity. Especially if you were young and dumb. Your chat jumped Jake, did it? What did I miss? Oh, I guess it did jump. Here we go. Here we go. April says, yes, much love, everybody. Prayers and smiley faces and hearts and roses and thumbs up. Great read, love. Smiley faces and hearts, says April. Thank you. Great read, Jake, says Kevin. Thank you very much. April says, prayers and things I needed. He blessed me. Yes, he does bless you. And he blesses you because you are one of his children and because you take the time every week to show him some love. And that is the most important thing you can do for your relationship with God, is to be present in his word. That's what we do here Sunday and Monday. I know most people like to do it on one day of the week. I do it 2 days a week because that's fair. I would do it 7 days a week, but nobody would listen that long. So, but trust me that you are being prayed for, and you are doing some praying, so God has his hands on all of you, and I give you my word on that. April says, Jake speaks like Siri, LOL. I do? I'm sorry. Is that a bad thing? I don't know what I'm doing. Kevin says, my secretary was in the hospital. April come in and did a good job. Made more money today than any other day this year. April is my love. Well, that's fantastic, Kevin. I'm glad you guys are prospering. That's beautiful. Keep prospering. Give God credit for blessing your family, because that's where it's coming from. And do you know why you're being blessed? Because you have been a blessing. That's how it works. Amanda says, LOL, April. I like to try to get him going on my Alexa. He gets on to me all the time about that thing. He can't stand it, but he will come around, LOL. No, he will not. And April says, thank you, Kevin. You guys are sweet together. April says, LOL, I just thought of something funny. IK bow, he can do it. I don't know what that means. I just thought of something funny. IK bow, he can do it. When did he say that? Says Dennis Bigfoot. In the first 5 books of the Bible, where he gives the directions to build the Ark of the Covenant. I don't remember exactly which book is in. Probably Deuteronomy or Leviticus, somewhere in that area. But the instructions for building the Ark of the Covenant was given. It was built, and then things were placed inside of it, and that's its purpose. And it followed in front of the army of Israel everywhere it went from then on out. And it only contained the things that it contained, and you can't put that in more than one ark. So why would there be more than one ark? There is an Ark of the Covenant. We're not talking about Noah's Ark. That's a different kind of ark. Same, it's still an ark. It's a box. Same thing, but that's why they call it an ark. But there's only one Ark of the Covenant. That would be the mercy seat. The reason I know there's only one of them is because it is the throne of God on planet Earth. That's what the mercy seat is. That's why the top of it was built like a seat. It has 2 cherubim with two wings touching and 2 wings sticking out like armrests. So it does this number. So why would God have more than one throne? He's only one God. April says, Dennis, LOL. And Amanda says, 𝕰𝕬𝕬𝕪, once a month injection. I swear by them. I went from 15 or more migraines a month down to maybe 1. Check it out, Linda. 𝕰𝕬𝕬𝕪, 𝕰𝕬𝕬𝕪. That's the medication. You get 1 shot a month and it'll keep your migraines away. Dennis Bigfoot says, there's videos on the topic. I'm sorry. And one I've seen that wasn't in that video. Lots of Ark lore and never studied it too much myself. Okay. Well, that's the key right there. You said it. Lore. Ark lore. Another word for lore is legend. Another word for legend is myth. That's not truth. The truth is in the Bible. And the Bible tells you what happened to the Ark of the Covenant and where it is. So, and where is it? It's in Jeremiah's grotto. That's where it is right now. It's behind a false wall inside of about 30 feet of rock because they've built on top of that since then. But Jeremiah's grotto is where it's hidden at. And they already know where it's at, but they can't bring it out because if they brought it out, there would be immediately war because 3 of the world's biggest religions all claim ownership of that artifact. And if it's brought out, all 3 of those religions are going to want to have it. And those religions do not get along. So that's why it's staying where it's at, hidden. But make no mistake about it, the Israeli government knows where it's at. It has been found, and there you go. Wow, a whole new world, says April. I read that one. But yeah, there's lots of videos about lots of things, including this one. So I'm not suggesting that I'm any better than anybody else in the world, but I have done my research and I believe what I believe. And if you follow me, you believe what I believe because you trust that I've done the research and I've been articulate enough to prove that. I can't show you everything I've ever read or learned. I can't show you the footnotes, but I can tell you just by way of talking about a subject that you can tell I know what I'm talking about. So it's up to you whether you believe that or not, but I'll give you the truth as best as I see it. And that may be right or it may be wrong, but that's the truth as I see it. And I'm not lying to you. I might be wrong, but I'm not lying to you. I think that I believe the things that I espouse. And I've clearly seen enough evidence to validate that belief to think that that's what it is. Amanda says, I was young and dumb. Spent my whole life chasing the one who got away. Then I got him back, and he's stuck now, and I will not make that mistake again. Wise. Kevin says, do you need me to get you something, babe? Not you, Jake, although you are a babe. April says, no, Kev, I'm not far now. Hey, look what we got. We got ourselves a genuine, bona fide, USDA-approved sports update with Kevin Cox. Georgia is losing with it being the last of the 9th. Everybody say go Dogs. Go Dogs. Back to you, Bob. Dennis says, I know what the Ark is, and I know what the mercy seat is, too. There's a video series that shows a very interesting journey over some years in the search. Where was the crucifixion? Okay. This is one way I believe I know where the Ark of the Covenant is, because Jesus Christ became the sacrifice. And what is the sacrifice? The sacrifice is the atonement for sin. And in the old days, when they sacrificed animals, they would cut the throat, they would bleed it out on the altar, and then they would take portions of that blood and sprinkle it on the mercy seat of the Ark of the Covenant. And then they would do a ritual in there, and that's how the atonement would occur. Now, Jesus Christ was crucified on Golgotha, or Mount Calvary, which is the place of the skull. It is a place in Jerusalem that is a rock escarpment that kind of looks like a skull. And those indentions in the rock is where they hung the signs in 3 different languages. Here lies Jesus Christ, King of the Jews, or whatever it said. And that spot is where Jesus was crucified. And there are, to this day, 3 holes in the ground where crosses once stood. So there are 3 crucifixions there, and there used to be a high road that went right in front of it. That's the place. Golgotha is right directly above Jeremiah's grotto. Built on, because in those places in the world, they don't clear away the rock. They just build on top of it. So there's layers over time of city over city over city that they build on top. So Golgotha, the place where Jesus was crucified, is right below or right above Jeremiah's grotto where the Ark of the Covenant would be. And then the ground split open when he died. And his blood ran down the cross and trickled onto the mercy seat, which is where the blood of the sacrifice is supposed to go. I don't know if that's true or not, but that story makes perfect sense and is in line with the Bible. And if the Bible is the truth, that's more than likely what it is, where it is. So that's how you know. And there's lots of stories in lots of videos, including stories about evolution and about amoebas crawling up out of the sea and turning into fish and then into people and whatever the hell. None of that's true. They make lots of videos. You can't trust everything you see. I'm not getting on to you. I'm just telling you my perspective here. The truth is in the Bible. Every question you can ever ask, the answer to it is in the Bible. I've found every question I've ever questioned in those pages, and I believe what it says. And I went out and looked at a number of them, not all of them, but a number of things in the Bible. I went and looked, and there it is, right where the Bible says it was, without question. It is the truth. So I hope that helps. It also says there are 3 angels guarding it. Well, I don't know where it says that, but the Ark of the Covenant was in the temple when Egypt attacked Israel. When Egypt left Israel, it took the stuff out of the temple, and then they wrote a list about it. You can find this by reading documents from the Pharaoh at the time, which was Arphaxad. No. Xerxes. Sorry. Xerxes. You can read his transcripts, or you know that history is written by the people that win the war. So obviously they're touting the Pharaoh and how wonderful and great he is and all of that stuff. But among the list of things that they talk about, they list the things that they got as spoil from the war. They're very meticulous. They kept great records, and those records exist today, and you can read them. And there's the showbread table, and there's all these different things that were in the temple, but the Ark of the Covenant is not among them. Why is that? Well, because Jeremiah, the prophet, was serving as high priest in the temple when it was attacked, and he went through the tunnels underground and got out of the city. He took the Ark of the Covenant with him when he went. That's why they didn't get it when they raided the temple. Now, the Ark of the Covenant is never talked about again until it's in heaven with God. So I don't know whether we're ever going to recover it or not. We know where it's at, but I don't know that we're ever going to be able to get it out there until God comes back. And it may happen during the end times. I don't know. But that's where the story says that it is. And that's the story that makes sense with the Bible. I'm not saying it's true. I'm saying that it makes sense. And I tend to go Occam's razor on things like that. The thing that is the least obvious is usually the hardest thing to come by. The thing that is the most obvious is usually the truth. So, obviously, I can't tell you 100% certainly because no one has seen the Ark of the Covenant since it was in the temple when Egypt raided Israel. I'm losing my voice. Sorry, if I sound like I'm talking hard, it's because I'm having to push air out to keep my voice working. I apologize. I'm not yelling at you. I'm just trying to keep talking. In the video, this guy was working with Israel government, supposedly. Yeah, well, I'd have to see the video to see if there was any validity to it. I don't know. I don't know who you're talking about or which video it is, but if you have the video, email me a link to it and I'll go watch it. But I'm pretty sure they already got all that nailed down. They know where it's at. Yeah, well, they wouldn't put it in the news. Think about what you're saying. The Ark of the Covenant, the thing that no one can touch without dying unless they are of the Levitical order. If they had that, it would be world war immediately. Somebody would want to control that thing because it is thought to be the power of God on earth. Obviously, it's not. They used it like a banner. It went before Israel into battle, and because of the presence of God, they won. But a lot of people attribute it to the ark. The ark is just a box. It doesn't have any power. The reason you die if you touch it is because God said don't touch it. Venerate it. Respect it. Don't touch it. If you touch it, you die. And because he said that, that's the law of the land. If you touch it, you die. It's not because the ark has any power. It doesn't. It's just a box. That's it. Just a box with a seat on top. But it was a symbol of the power of Israel and the fact that God had them covered. And anywhere they went with that thing, they won the battle because God told them to go into battle, not because they had the ark. This is a misunderstanding. But people like Hitler don't know that. They think the ark is powerful, and he went searching for it. He spent a great amount of money looking for that thing and other artifacts from the Bible as well, and some occult stuff. And it gets kind of weird when you look into the back channels of what all they were trying to do. They were trying to contact demons and all kinds of things. Hitler and other world leaders do it too. So if anybody were to say, hey, I've got the Ark of the Covenant, they would be attacked immediately, and somebody would be trying to get that thing and control it. That's why nobody's put it in the news. I would encourage you to look up a name, Ron Wyatt, W-Y-A-T-T, Ron Wyatt, and go read what he says about the Ark of the Covenant. He's apparently the guy that laid eyes on it. You tell me if what he says sounds true to you. That's the best I can give you on that one. Dennis says, I find it. Oh, I read that one. I'd have to search for that video, says Dennis. April says, interesting, exactly. Dennis says, it had to be, there had to be counterfeit ones out there. Well, I'm sure there are. But that's not the Ark of the Covenant. That's a counterfeit. So if what you're saying is, who says there's only one Ark of the Covenant, meaning there are counterfeits, then by all means, they probably have one over in Ethiopia, but it ain't the real thing. There's only one real thing. And I think if they have something over there, nobody knows. There's a little church in Ethiopia, and I think it's like St. Mary's Basilica or something like that. I can't remember the name of it. I think it's something like that, Saint something. Anyway, little church, and it's got a fence around it, and there's a guy in there, one guy, who has a machine gun, and there's guards outside, and nobody's allowed in that church, and nobody ever leaves that church. They appoint a guy from the village to live his life in that church until he dies, and he dies rather quickly because his hair falls out and his eyes, he goes blind and his fingernails come off, and he dies. And then somebody replaces him. They claim to have the Ark of the Covenant in that little building. It's not the Ark of the Covenant, because nowhere in the Bible does it describe the Ark of the Covenant having that kind of power that it makes people have radiation sickness. I think they probably have some plutonium in there that's in a box, and they think it's the Ark of the Covenant. That's my guess. Who am I? What do I know? Yep, that's the video, says Dennis. Okay. Oh, the Ron Wyatt, that's the video? Well, if that's the case, then you're talking about the same thing. You're getting your information from the same place I got some of it, from Ron Wyatt. So if you think that video was telling the truth, that's where it is, in Jeremiah's grotto, right where it says it is. I don't know if that's true or not, but it sure does sound true. I mean, it has all the hallmarks of what it should be if it is the Ark of the Covenant. It should be where Jesus' blood goes. That's the only thing that makes sense. So it preaches, whether it's true or not, I'll leave that up to your discretion. I couldn't tell you. I haven't seen it with my own eyes. But as far as I know, someone has claimed to have found it. Kevin says, although the dog's lost, I'm still bleeding red and black. Go dogs. Go dogs. I'm sorry, Kev. Can't win them all. Had a good run, though. Can't win them all, Kev. Had a good run, though. What's that from? Dennis says, I can picture someone making one and do that, putting radioactive stuff in a fake and then using the effects as a fake god power. Yeah, I can picture that too. But when I said there was only one, I meant there's only one real one from God. I don't know what they've got in Ethiopia, but whatever it is killing people, and they should probably let somebody go in there and put that thing in some cement or something, whatever it is. Nobody's seen it. Nobody's allowed to go in and look at it. But there is a priest, and he always lives there until he dies, and then they replace him. And that's been going on for a very long time. So they do have something there, but I don't know what it is. But it wouldn't surprise me that somebody was trying to fake having the Ark of the Covenant. Because like I said, if you were to have that thing, somebody in power would want it because they think it controls battles. It don't, but that's what they think. All right. Thank you all for your super chats. Thank you for the love you show me every day. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. I had a great time tonight. I can't wait till next Sunday when we can do it again. But in the meantime, Wednesday night. And check out my brand new show, Politics, which airs on Saturdays at 8:30. Come check that out. You'll love it. Have a great night. Dennis says the Ron Wyatt is the one I was talking about. It's a long series over like 20 years. Yeah, he found several things he went looking for. I don't know whether he's telling the truth or not, but he seems to think he is telling the truth. So all I can tell you is go watch those videos and tell me what you think about that man, because that's the difference. Whether you think that man is earnest or not. Now, when I look at him, I see a guy that saw something that he wasn't expecting to see, but I don't know. Everybody can be a charlatan, I guess. Everybody could fool somebody, I guess. But he seemed like an earnest man to me, and I don't have any reason to doubt what he said, because everything he said is in line with what the Bible says. Like, he found the place where they crossed the Red Sea, and where they crossed the Red Sea, there was a pillar that was erected there by King Solomon himself, and it says on the pillar, erected by King Solomon to commemorate the crossing of the Red Sea. And if you read the Bible, it tells you how they go out to the Red Sea to cross it, and that's exactly where it is. So I don't have any reason to doubt that. That makes perfect sense. If you look at a map while you read the story of the Exodus, you can see where they went and how they crossed the Red Sea and went into Arabia to Mount Sinai, which is right inside of Arabia. So he went a little further and he found a mountain that had a black top and all the hallmarks. It had 12 pillars. It had a rock split open and a basin down below it. All the things were there. And he took pictures of them. I've seen pictures of them. Even the cave that may have been the cave that the burning bush was in is right there in that same area, which would be Midian, which is where Moses came from. So all I know is it's in line with the Bible, and that makes sense to me. So I believe it until otherwise proven wrong. So I hope that helps. Amanda says, night all, see you Wednesday at 8:30. And Dennis says, yep, supposedly. Kevin says, lose with dignity, win with dignity. That's right, buddy. Dennis says, I'm trying to take care right now. I hear you, brother. I hear you. Kevin says, night, big man. Good night, hoss. Dennis says, this is just looking for information on everything. Right? I'm always trying to learn something. Believe that. All right. I got to go to work early in the morning, so I'm going to get out of here and go to bed. Have a great night. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the love. And also, when you go out into the world tomorrow, be nice to somebody. Show some love around the world. Just give a little of yourself and watch it change your life. I promise you it will. May God bless you. May his blessings abound in your life. May his grace light your footsteps every which way you decide to go. And until next time, Linda, thank you for being here, and good night, sweetheart. I hope you feel better. Thank you for watching.